and welcome back to Tight Sports. Right now, I know it's been a while, been a busy week, but I want to get down to reviewing last weekend's game. But I'm going to do things a little different. We're going to do it from a Crimson Tide perspective. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. But first, if you don't have a Crimson Tide player on your roster of your team, you ain't living right. You're just not living right. And this is a review of Week 8 in the NFL. Started out last Thursday. Tampa Bay against the Buffalo. The Bearded Goats won. Yeah. Okay, moving on. The LA Bumps visited Dallas and they were destroyed handily. Los Angeles should sign every Alabama player that's not under contract, because that was exactly a hard watch. I have notes all over the place, folks. Now, let's see. Atlanta versus Tennessee. Atlanta lost to rookie QB in Tennessee. He threw for 4 touchdowns, and it was his first start. Now, 3 of those touchdowns did go to Diop. So, but still, he threw them. The whack ones benched their quarterback. The hot seat is fully ablaze for that coach down in Atlanta. There's too much young talent to waste on a head coach that just seems to be lost. And on the Roll Tide side of things, Derrick Henry had a great game. And it had to feel great for him to have 26 touches for 122 yards, one-on-one on the ground, and not end up on the losing side of the field. That's usually how it goes. I think Coach Vrabel has got something going. But I think also Malik Willis, get your agent on the phone, player. His time in Tennessee could be over. And you may think, no, you trade Tannehill. Ain't nobody trying to get no Tannehill at no $27 million to finish off this year. Nobody. No, in the second place. Yeah, man, get yourself in the child seat and buckle up, brother, because we about to ride all the way to the end of the year. And then after that, he can keep it pushing. New Orleans versus Indy. That was interesting. New Orleans, they ended up beating Indy. Something got into Derek Carr, I guess, because, normally, I guess his pain meds was spot on or something. He played a very good game, which is rare. Maybe he's tired of fans calling him horrible as he's walking down through Bourbon Street trying to be a drunkard like everybody else down there. Well, everybody else that goes to Bourbon Street, not everybody in New Orleans. It's a horrible, stinking, steamy city, but it's just whatever. But anyway, and I see now, he was playing Indy, so wow. I mean, Indy's been struggling all year to piece it all together with the injuries that they have. Former Tide player Tony Brown, in his fifth season, he tacked up 6 tackles, for the struggling, I call them the Indianapolis Nopes. But, his 6 tackles didn't go very far. Moving on to New England versus Miami. Now, this is simply an A-Day game. This is an A-Day game, folks. This wasn't over the A-Day game. With a total of 5 people playing on defense and 4 on offense from the University of Alabama, Alabama talent was on full display. The Flippers won this one, 31-17. They were at home. Mac Jones, he still had a decent day with 2 touchdowns? Yeah, he had a decent day. He had 2 TDs with the 3 sacks, and that 1 pick was a major issue. Come on, man, you can get it together, man. Yeah, I know, yeah. But Tua impressed. Tua was off the charts. Tua has 324 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, with Waddles. I told you it's an 8-day game, folks. I told you it's an 8-day game. But it was like Waddles had 7 catches for 121 yards and a TD. So that was big for him. Defensively, Mac Jones was active. Not Mac Jones. Mac Wilson was active with 7 tackles for the coffee lovers of New England. So moving on again to the next game, the Jets versus the Giants. This game started and ended with defense. A'Shawn Robinson, Xavier McKinney of Alabama chimed in with 7 tackles combined. But unfortunately, C.J. Mosley, Quentin Williams, they was not joking. I mean, both of them combined, they took this challenge seriously from their former Crimson Tide buddies with 20 tackles altogether. The QB play for the Giants was abysmal. I mean, it was abysmal. And yeah, I know. QB Tyrod Taylor was hurting this one. But the two quarterbacks combined, 6 for 14 for 8 yards. 6 for 14 for 8 yards. Let me say a third time. 6 for 18. Two were only in the NFL. From 6 passes, completed 6 passes on 14 attempts for 8 yards. I looked it up 17,711 times. And I'm telling you, it didn't change. I pray this had nothing to do with the play of former Tide standout Evan Neal, because, you know, all rookies need time to grow. Whew, that was bad. That was bad. Moving on, the Jets versus, that's Jets and John. The Philly Freebirds versus the Washington Requesters, because they are in command of nothing. Well, sparks flew all over the place. I mean, it was crazy. Mostly for Washington initially. Jalen has been doing too many of them doggone tush pushes, and if I hear the word tush become, there's 2 words used together that I'm really sick of this year, by the way. But he's been doing so many of those tush pushes, and it shows, because every game he's moving like slower and slower. And, you know, it takes him a little time to warm up these days. But when he finally heated up, he finished the game with 319 yards passing, 4 TDs, 0, zilch, nada on the interception side of the game. There was a fumble, but who cares? 4 touchdowns. Devontae had a great game with 7 receptions for 99 yards and a score. But A.J. Brown, 132 touchdowns. I mean, I can see them going back to the Super Bowl, given the opportunity. So Landon Dickerson and the crew, they were definitely providing adequate protection for Jalen and his offense. But for Washington, B-Rob did his best, 12 touches. They need to increase those number of touches, but he had altogether 70 yards. Sam Howell was he's making some progress, man, but that man throw the ball too much. Man, I mean, I just think the coaches, maybe, you know, Rivera and the offense coordinator, they try and turn that into Kansas City East. And Payne and Allen, they put ticks up on the board, but it was, you know, just a little bit. It was not enough. Eli Ricks, former Alabama defensive back, made a splash, but for Philadelphia. But Howell still tallied up 400 yards passing. They throwing the ball around, but that's why the score was so high. Now, the final score of that one, I think it was around, I didn't write it down, I'm here in my notes, but I think 38 to 31. It was pretty high. Let's see, moving on. We had the Houston, I call them the gas pumpers, versus the Carolina House Cats. Well, head coach and former Tide standout D'Amico Ryans led with Will Anderson, Christian Harris, linebacker, Michi, who's on the men, and Toa up against former Tide players Bradley Bozeman at center, and of course, Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young. I mean, Tide Nation, don't it just make you feel good just to even hear those names? Because they just brought us so much joy while they were at the capstone. Anyway, Roll Tide, man. I mean, LeBron Ray put in work on the defensive line with 3 stops also to help the House Cats take down the very talented Houston squad, which really surprised me. Bryce goes 22 for 31, 235 yards and a touchdown in his first win at Carolina. Congratulations, Bryce, on your first simple victory, man. And much more to come from that young man. Oh, man, we miss him so much. Does he? Let me check with my records people. Hey, guys?
Yes.
Can you check and see if Bryce has any more eligibility?
We told you last
Please?
time. No, he doesn't.
Is there any way you can make up
No, we can't.
eligibility for him?
Man, this guy's.
He can't. He signed a
Move
contract.
on, man.
with the
Nothing.
NFL, so therefore he's
done. He's signed. Drafted.
Thank you. Moving on, Cleveland. Brown stings. Versus Seattle. Defensive tackle Jaron, a former Tide player, he made 4 stops to help his team prevail over the quad of Tide players by 4 points. So 4 tackles, 4 points. I think the Tide player deserves the credit for the win. I'm just kidding, guys. But with the injured Deshaun Jackson, P.J. Walker was not able to overcome the Waterfowls of Seattle. Amari Cooper, he did come in with 6 receptions for 89 yards, but the defense was giving him plenty of attention all day. Struggling with injuries, it was announced but Cleveland is going to sign Kenyon Drake. But they signed him, rather. They signed him on yesterday to the practice squad, so maybe they can get him on the field. Should get him on the field this weekend. He's been around long enough in the NFL, so that's good news for Kenyon. Glad to see you back out there, buddy. Roll Tide to you. Kansas City versus Denver. Patrick Surtain and Jerry Jeudy have not had a very successful season. And I should say Patrick Surtain the third. But Jerry Jeudy, they've not had a very great season. But what a great way to turn things around. I mean, they took down the champs 24-9 in Empire Field at Mount High. Just in case you don't believe me, you want to look it up. Quarterback Russ threw for 114 yards.
Oh no.
You got to start somewhere. But he had 3 touchdowns. Jerry had 2 receptions for 50 yards, and I know, I've watched enough Denver games to know Patrick Surtain definitely did his part to slow down those speed merchants over there in KC. It could have had something to do with the air, or could have just been that they were more prepared for a division rival. Either way, the kids love it. They love what they did out there. Let's see. And while I appreciate the champs for hiring Terry Braden of Tuskegee University to be one of their assistant defensive lineman coach, I advise them to get Coach Terry Braden on the plane at the end of the season, send him back to Alabama, and pick up some Crimson Tide talent. You know what I'm saying? While you at it, let him slide on back over to Tuskegee and see if you want to check out the DB number 5 over there, BTW out of Tuskegee, Alabama. The dude's doing a pretty good job. It's a pretty good job. He may be a little young, but just keep your eye on him. May get you a little steal in the pick, in the draft. Everybody's looking for deals. The Ravens versus the Cactus Chicks. That is formerly known in my mind as the Arizona Cardinals. Marlon Humphreys, prayers for you. Get well soon from your foot surgery. They say he's be out for a total of about a month. I don't know. I think we're a couple weeks into that. We got maybe a couple more weeks to go. But Baltimore still prevail, 31-24 over Arizona. Arizona is struggling. And one way I think they could improve is to pick up some, my man says, some high quality talent from Alabama that's still available and waiting for their call. Call them. Now, what they need to do is make a call over to Cincinnati. AJ Karen's on the practice squad. I mean, this sounds crazy, right? But deciding to trade Josh Dobbs in week 9, or heading into week 9, and starting Clayton Tune, a rookie. Clayton Tune. This weekend, that's just real evidence that they are in a sprint towards the top of the draft. And I mean, you're going to end up visiting Alabama some kind of way, virtually, in person for the workouts. I'm just telling you to go get AJ because I like Dobbs. I like the fact that Dobbs is making more money than the average aerospace engineer. Unless you got patents. If you are an aerospace engineer with the patents, I'm not giggling at you. Not at all. But this whole Clayton Tune thing, yeah. And with the first pick, you know how they go. Cincy Bugle Cats versus San Fran. Now, it's hard to believe, but San Fran does not have a Crimson Tide player in their program. I mean, what is that? with their form of play, you would think they would have somebody because it seemed to be tearing their team down as they're struggling with injuries. And, I would just say, GM John Lynch, you want to sign more battle-tested players from the SEC, those that have made it through. That aside, Joe B is feeling better. I'm going to say applause right now, but I'm not too happy about it. I'm just kind of, Joe Burrow getting better. Don't do nothing for me. Nothing.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, he's feeling better, and his calf is all healed up, it seems to be. With Alabama's Jonah Williams at right tackle, and Irv Smith Jr. at tight end, and we have Jordan Battle who's at safety to help keep Purdy in check. Sounds like bad news for my Steelers, because nothing but bad news, because Cincinnati, they broke San Francisco off something proper like, to quote the great MC Hammer. Yes, MC Hammer. Oh, Chicago. Oh, Chicago. Chicago football Cubs versus the LA 2 Volts. Chicago's Eddie Jackson, roll tide to you. His foot has sidelined him a lot over the last year. And he's not going to go on the IR, good for him, but they need him badly after losing 30-13 to LA. This was a boring game for fans seeking to see our old players. But J.K. Scott was in LA doing his thing. And with the way they just ran through Chicago's defense, he only got a chance to get in 2 punts. But that's all he could do in this route of the Chicago football Cubs, I call them, because they nothing embarrassed about them. Oh, let's see. Raiders versus the Lions. Wow. I don't know if you caught that game. I think that was a Sunday night game, but the Lions dominated this one 26-14 at home. Garoppolo was terrible as usual. As it was, I expected it to be horrible. We did get a helmet slam from Devontae Adams. He expected to get the ball. He expected his QB to get the ball to him. What's wrong with that man? You don't know what he's playing for? I think he's more frustrated by the fact that he gave up the Packers, came there before his college roommate, Derek Carr. I don't know why he did that either. But, with Garoppolo there, his expectations have to be low. So I expect him to force a trade, or there may be some kind of hostage situation that starts at the end of the season. But anyway, several wide open balls were thrown toward the wide open Adams that ended up out of bounds, and luckily no one was hurt. Meanwhile, Golf connected with LaPorta, and I gotta get his name right. Amin St. Brown. I'm listening to the Joe Buck announcing on TV, and I know he's saying it wrong. I do not like Joe Buck. I just wanna, as a non-football player, I haven't played football since I was in the 7th or 8th grade. I just want to get
talking about
me and Joe Buck in the old Nutcracker. His suit versus just wearing shorts, tank tops, and some cleats. He can run the ball.
What are you
he
talking
can tackle.
about?
Just 3 times, me and Joe Buck. Just one on. Don't miss it. Oh, so anyway, LaPorta and Amin St. Brown, they had 14 touches for 170 yards. And Jameson Williamson, we love him. When he did for us at Alabama, he's still finding his way in the NFL though, but he did have 2 catches for 16 yards. Brian Branch has been ailing a lot, somewhere below his calf area. I think it was an ankle, but he did tally up 3 tackles. But former running back Josh Jacobs and Jahmyr Gibbs did their thing. In a losing effort, Jacobs was the Vegas bright spot with 17 touches for 86 yards and a score. However, it was the coming out party for Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, hello world, my name is Jahmyr. I mean, this man finished with the starter was out, so they had to really rely on him. He had 31 touches for 189 yards and a touchdown. Very good, gents. Roll Tide to you. Roll Tide. Now, Jacksonville versus Steelers. Cam Robinson and Calvin Ridley helped their quarterback Sunshine Lawrence take down my Steelers 20-10 at home. I gotta say something, Sunshine or something, because he hurt me bad. Ridley had 8 catches for 83 yards. And after Steelers, after losing Kenny Pickett to a rib injury, Mitch Trubisky, he was able to get the offense going a little bit for a score, but what we got going on there is a problem, man. I mean, Najee Harris. I'm not booing him. I'm booing what's happening to him. Najee had 7 carries. Let me just say that again. Najee Harris, who played at the University of Alabama. Y'all seen him. He had 7 carries for 13 yards. And then he caught 5 passes for 42. I'm like, what do y'all want the man to do? We got receivers all over the place. Offensive coordinator Matt Canada, please be sure to keep that resume handy. More on him in another video. And speaking of videos, please click like on this video. Stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe. We're going to do it like this, Crimson Tide style, on everything going forward for the NFL, unless I'm addressing the greatest franchise in the NFL, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. But until next time, everybody be well, enjoy the games this weekend, and have a great one.